it's a well-known fact that a dog's nose and a wife's feet are always cold.
He found that climbing the dunes nude was easier.
He said, they don't let us teach it like this in veterinary school.
Glory, glory, hallelujah. Since I laid my burdens down, I can't hear y'all. Glory, glory, hallelujah.
Now, I have to tell you that there in that little community of Sodom, we had every flavor of Baptist that you could shake a stick at.
She says, well, let's go in the kitchen and get dinner, but watch out, because the kitchen's where I keep my rock collection.
We had Free Will Baptist, Missionary Baptist, Hard Shell Baptist, Plain Old Baptist, Southern Baptist, First Baptist.
And we started in this little kitchen door, and on this green linoleum floor, there was a little trail that went over to the refrigerator, and the rest of the floor was totally covered with little rows of rocks.
The Church of God Baptist, we had Foot Washing Baptist, Holy Rolling Baptist, and we had Primitive Baptist, Progressive Primitive Baptist, and Buzzard Baptist.
The kitchen table was covered with rocks. The kitchen counters were covered with rocks. The doors had been taken off the cabinets. The cabinets were full of rocks. And in the sink, there were all these rocks that hadn't been put in rows yet.
Buzzard Baptists were Baptists who only went to church when there was a funeral, and so we called them Buzzard Baptists.
I said, I see your rock collection. She says, yes, I keep working on it all the time.
His plan was that he would find a shack to live in during the summer of 1921, and then in the fall, he would go and start his working life as an American.
And Carl began to rethink the idea of having a racing series. He thought now in terms of having one race, one long race.
The summer of 21, early summer, he boarded the South Shore Rail and let it whisk him away from the toils and smells and sounds of Chicago.
And so they agreed to one race that could be started and ended in daylight hours, one race of 500 miles.
And then the glimpse of blue off to the left, and then Gary and the steel mill and that city rising up at its base.
Those two decisions were what made the Speedway. One race of 500 miles.
I mean, she would go up to strangers and say, my daughter is a storyteller. They didn't need to know all of that. And they probably didn't even care. But that's the way she was. That was my mama.
Growing up way down in the mountains in the corner of North Carolina, we were not in a multicultural world. I mean, Episcopalians were a downright minority group. And there wasn't a card-carrying Catholic inside the county in which I was born. It wasn't our fault. We just didn't know any better.
In this way, Changinman taught his son after he died. Mangala said, so what does this mean? It means there are certain things you cannot tell people or teach them. They must learn on their own.
I walked by the TV and stood there transfixed for a long time for a 10-year-old kid because Dr. Martin Luther King was giving his speech of I Have a Dream. Children, go where I send thee. I will send thee, oh, I'm gonna send thee one by one. One was a little bitty baby born in Bethlehem. Children, go where I send thee. I will send thee, oh, I'm gonna send thee two by two. Two was a Paul and Silas, one was a little bitty baby born in Bethlehem. Children, go where I